So tonight, our first speaker is David Musk. The speech's purpose is to persuade or influence. The speech title is Knowing Your Community. It's going to be a 5 to 7 minutes speech. And this is speech number 9 from the Competent Communicator program. David has been fascinated with human communication since childhood. In both his personal and professional life, David utilized his strong communication skills and strived to understand the dynamics of human interaction. In this speech, David will share his experiences and what he learned with the goal to persuade us on the importance of knowing our community and being able to discern between who are our friends and who are our acquaintances. Please help me welcome David.
Have you ever had a day or a month or a year in your life where things just weren't going your way? It could have been a rock bottom moment, some people call it that, or just some period of your life where things weren't going right. Maybe you were sitting on the couch, you're looking at your phone and you're wondering, who can I reach out to that I trust to help me get past this moment? You're sitting and looking at the phone and it's just staring back at you, blinking. You have no idea who to call. Or, worst of all, you reach out to somebody in your community you think is your friend, only to find out that they don't come through for you. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I've had that experience in my life. And the goal of my speech tonight is to hopefully inspire you and persuade you to get to know your community better. For me, there's nothing worse, and from my experience, there was nothing worse than not knowing my community. My journey started about 6 years ago when I was faced with potentially losing my property. I was sitting on my couch, looking blankly at my phone, and thinking to myself, who can I reach out to that I trust to help me out? And one friend came to mind. So I called her up. And I said, I'm looking for someone to stay in my place for an undisclosed amount of time. It has to be under the radar, and the rent will have to be cash. And you'll have to pay me in cash. I was working through some financial issues such that there could be no record. So I needed somebody that I trusted. And I asked her, do you know anyone who could stay in my place under these circumstances? I need someone I can trust. I repeated it like 2 or 3 times. Without a beat, she goes, I know someone. I grew up with him, so he took care of your place as well as, if not better than you. I'm thinking, oh, jackpot, right? I scored. So I said, okay. No one can take care of my place better than me, but if you trust him implicitly, let's go with it. Well, several months and thousands of dollars in damage later, I found out she liked him. Not only did she not know him well, but when I asked how well she knew him recently, she said, well, I tried to do a good thing. Now, she didn't try to do a good thing. For him, he was desperate. He needed a roof over his head. And she looked out for his interests. She's my friend, right? So, after that, maybe about a year or so later, after I had this experience of developing a callus in my mind, I was talking to an old classmate, and he was sharing similar experiences with his community. Friends that didn't come through on their promises. And as I was reading through his grievance, there were a couple of interesting ideas that came into my head. And the first one is, this doesn't sound like a friend. And then I thought, well, wait, I had this experience too, not that long ago. So I asked him, this sounds like an acquaintance. What does an acquaintance mean to you? And I'm going to ask you, fellow Toastmasters and guests, what does an acquaintance mean to you? Dale, what do you think of when you think of an acquaintance?
Someone you don't know that well, maybe like someone at work, some other department you know who he is, but you're not really friends or hanging out.
All right, that's fair. Michael?
I'd say some colleagues can give you the wrong impression. They can sometimes really be nice to you at work, and as soon as you're in a social setting, they can show a completely different side of themselves, and you realize you really would never want to be friends with them.
Very cool. So both of you are smarter than my old classmate. He told me the definition of an acquaintance is everybody you know in your community, including your friends. My response to him was, well, I Googled, because I wasn't really sure of the actual definition. The actual definition is the opposite. It's everybody Dale and Michael said. Your acquaintances are everybody you know in your community, except for your friends. And then it dawned on me, I don't know my community at all. Because if the people who I think are my friends are my acquaintances, and the people who I think are my acquaintances are my friends, and I mix them, meshing, I'm just missing my whole community. So I told him. You know, he had that same epiphany. Oh, these people aren't my friends. So I got to work in getting to know my community. And what I want to share with you all tonight are 3 little bullets. It's a starting point. I only have 5 to 7 minutes. But these are 3 starting points that are, I think, the foundation of determining who you can consider your friends and who you can consider your acquaintances in your community. First bullet is frequency of contact. How often do you speak to this person? Do you speak to them a couple of times a week? A couple of times a month? I found that acquaintances will only speak to you maybe a couple of times a month or a year or something. Friends will want to speak to you more frequently, maybe a couple of times a week. Second thing to think about is pay attention to the kind of conversations you're having. Are you talking about topical things? Like terrorism, gossip, actors, actresses, silly coffee, dinner conversations? Or are you getting into the core? Who are you as people? Are you able to open yourself up to them? Do they open themselves up to you? Do you get to the meat? And the last thing to think about is how often when you do get together, what do you do? So how often do you get together and what is it that you do when you spend time together? Coffee dates, dinners, a couple hours? Nothing really important happens? Nothing big happens? Or do you actually find yourselves really going into the type of events that strengthen your bond? Maybe a movie or theater, or do you spend hours together or not? These 3 pointers are very basic, as I mentioned, they're foundational. But I found these 3 bullets are a good starting point to being able to figure out who are your friends and who aren't. Because what I hope none of you experience is what I went through. Which is, when that hard time in your life comes, and it will come, it'll happen to all of us. I don't want you sitting on that couch, looking blankly at your phone, not knowing who to call, because you didn't take the time to determine who's your friend, who's your acquaintance.